Howdy y'all, Erica here from Hi49RC. Real quick, before we get started with talking about charges and all that jazz, I need your guys' opinions on your favorite crawler servos. I need to get some new servos for my Shafty here. What are your guys' top brands right now, and what are your guys' favorite servos in particular? I've always been a big fan of Savox. I don't know what is good on the market right now, so if you guys could let me know, that'd be fantastic, because I know there's a lot of different brands out there right now, and I've heard good things and bad things about some of them, so let me know in the comments. Anyways, enough about that. Today I want to talk about my favorite LiPo charger, which is the Junsi iCharger 308 Duo. They also make two larger versions from this one. I really like this one. It has a lot of different great features. For me, the data display on this charger is the most easily readable for me personally, and it's the least convoluted as well. Like, it's very upfront. Everything's right there. You can see it. You don't have to go toggling through menus to see different parameters about your batteries. This charger will even give you internal cell resistances for your LiPo batteries, which is really cool. I don't know how many other chargers actually do that, but this is my second one. Why? Because for some of you longtime viewers, you may remember that I had another one of these that I smoked right before Crawl for a Cure as I was charging my batteries. So then after the crawl, since my first iCharger got smoked, we picked up a Hi-Tech X2 charger, which is a good charger. Personally, I'm not a fan of the chargers with the really little data displays on them. I find them hard to look at. I'm not a fan of the LCD. This display is like full color and all that jazz. It's really nice, but I had a friend that is getting back into the RC hobby. He needed a charger, so I gave him my X2, and that gave me a chance to get another 308, which I've been waiting to do. It's been kind of hard to justify, like, why buy a brand new charger when you already have a good one, right? So there was a perfect opportunity for me to hand off my X2, which was perfectly good, and get a charger that I really like. So you might be asking, okay, why did you get another one if you just smoked one and it's clearly going to probably break again? Well, I have one right here full of parts that I can fix a second one with. So I love it. I've got a bunch of parts here, so if a new one breaks, I can just pull parts off of this and fix it. This charger does run off an external power supply. You can get RC specific ones from various different companies, or a lot of people will sell them on eBay that are actually server power supplies, which is what mine is, and I'll show you guys in a minute. With the old charger, when I used to run Deans, because when this got smoked, it was a time when I was running Deans, there was a weird issue that the charger was actually arcing to the box because my power supply has a metal case. I keep my charger and power supply in a metal toolbox. So the toolbox was getting grounded, and for some reason, the positive lead on the charger was still hot, and so the Deans connectors would arc to my metal toolbox. I think that has something to do with why it burned up. Aside from that, in terms of power capacity for this charger, you can do 30 amps per channel or 50 amps per synchronous. So like, you can combine both channels if you're charging a really big battery, and you can get up to 50 amps or 1300 watts out of this charger. It's 800 watts per channel. But with that, I think that pretty much covers some of the basics. Let's go ahead and tear into this box, take a look at what we've got, and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna set it all up. This little disc here has your manuals on it, and also has the log reading program, because this charger does allow you to actually save charge logs and keep track of them, which is pretty cool. I've never used that feature of it, but it is nice that it is included. Got your balance boards, then pop those apart. This is your power supply lead, so I'm gonna have to take and solder this on to my server power supply here. This is what I was talking about. It's one of the quick remove server power supplies. Got your power connection on this side. Ignore the foam wrapping and electrical tape. This was 14-year-old me's idea of insulating my power supply to try and stop the arcing problem, which did actually fix it, or help to some extent, which was good. So we've also got our charge leads, balance leads, stuff like that. I'm gonna have to solder some XT60s onto there. We'll do that in a minute. And here is the charger itself. Super small. I like the slick design of it. This center knob is a really big selling point for me. It's got a center push function, and it rotates. It's notched, so you can feel it real easily. That for me really helps when I'm setting up my different battery programs. start and stop for both channels, status buttons for both channels, and then your system buttons for just like settings and other various things like that. On the front, of course, you've got your 2 charge ports, balance board connections, and these guys are temperature sensor hookups so that you can monitor the temperature of your batteries, which is pretty cool, especially with LiPos that don't like to be hot. On the back, main power cord, of course, fans, USB outlet, so you can actually charge your phone off of this. If you're running this charger, say off your car battery or something, you can plug a USB cable into there, charge your phone, charge your GoPro, whatever you want. And then this little USB port is for updates, and I'm not sure if it's used for anything else. I'm going to plug it in later and mess with it. And a micro SD slot for storing your log files. One thing for me that I really like about this charger is the flip up display. That is seriously awesome for me because of what I keep my charger in, which is a toolbox. This makes it so much easier for me to see the display, see the screen without, you know, having to look at it at some weird angle if it's an LCD, you know, like out in the sunlight or whatever. Like, this is seriously, seriously nice. I'm going to go ahead and bounce over to my electronics bench, get this EC5 connector wire soldered up to my power supply, get some XT60s on my charge leads, and then we can hook up a battery, start it charging, and I can show you guys some of the nice data displays that this charger has. Got all my connectors soldered on. I ended up just putting on a fresh EC5 connector. I didn't use the wire that was supplied because there was already a wire on my power supply. But I've got my power supply hooked up. Let's go ahead and plug in our charger here. There you go. That's one thing about the X2 that I did not like, was that it talks to you. That drove me up the wall. But let's zoom you guys in here. And let's take a look at just some of the system settings that you have access to. So you can control your temperature and your fans. You can determine what temperature you want to shut down at, when you want your cooling fans to turn on, stuff like that. You can change stuff like the beeps and how loud the finished charge tone is. You can change your screen brightness and contrast, which is pretty cool. You can limit your output power per channel, so you can limit the amount of wattage or current. Well, it looks like you can just limit the charge and discharge wattage per channel, so that's kind of cool. So you can also set up what, you can basically tell the charger what type of power supply you are running, and you can also limit it. So you can say it's either a DC power supply or a battery power source, and you can adjust the low voltage limit and current limit for them. This charger also has the ability to do a servo test, so you can do different sorts of tests with it, which is kind of neat. I don't know how many other chargers do that. I've never used it, but one of these days I should try it. But with that, let's hook up a battery real quick. I've got my touring car battery. It's a 2S hard case. Get our bounce board plugged in, just as you would a normal charger. Now to start it, you press this little button down here, stop start button for the channel. You've got a bunch of different options here that it's already set up for. You can also create new programs, so I could create a brand new program for this battery specifically for it if I wanted. But let's go ahead and find LIPO, and so we want it to charge. Tab out of that. LIPO capacity is 6,000 mAh, but you can change that LIPO capacity as well. You can change your number of cells. You can do auto if you want. I like to specify how many cells it has. You can go all the way up to 8, which is pretty nuts for this little charger. Leave it at 2. Charge current as normal. You can adjust it up, adjust it down, yada yada. Leave it at 6 because it's a 6,000 mAh battery. And you can also do normal bounce, fast bounce, or no bounce at all. We'll just leave it at normal for now. Something else interesting, or that's kind of nice about the cycle, is you can change how you want it to cycle your battery. You can do discharge, charge, charge, discharge, charge, discharge, charge, discharge, you know, whatever, charge, discharge, store. Basically, it'll cycle your battery for you, and you can change how you want it to do that, which is pretty cool. I have used that a couple times, but we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to go ahead and charge this guy. Yes. And as you can see, we've got our individual cell voltages. The little bars on the side, it's like how much balance power to each cell it's giving. It's not quite how they phrase it in the manual, but whatever. Got your milliamp hours going in, current, voltage, of course. Down here is your cell discrepancy. So right now we're at 1 to 2 millivolts difference per cell. And this is the sum of your cell voltages. Down at the very bottom is our power supply voltage, power supply current, amp hours, and our internal charger temperature right there. You can check out the internal resistances of your battery cells. So like cell 1 on this battery is 2.8 megohms and cell 2 is 3.2 megohms. So that's nice. You can be able to keep tabs on the health of individual cells in your battery. So if you've got a puffy battery, you can keep tabs on those internal resistances. And then you also have just general info. We can see the end voltage per cell, so it's going to stop at 4.2 volts per cell. It also shows us the wattage being used, our temperature cutoff, and our end capacity. Temperature cutoff would be used with the temperature sensor connections down at the front of the charger, which I don't have set up right now, but I assume that that's what that would be for. So yeah, I hope all that makes sense. It looks very clean, very easy to look at, very easy to very quickly look and see all your different numbers really quickly. So included with the iCharger 308 Duo is this Junsi console application for your computer. Right now I have a battery on storage. As you can see here, it's active. You can see all the different voltages, cell voltages, and stuff like that. It only shows up when you are actively charging, storing, discharging. Like if I had another battery plugged into channel 2, which I don't right now, but if I did, it wouldn't show up as anything. It has to be actually running. But what you can do with this is you can record what is going on these two channels. And this is a quick test recording that I did to show you guys just what you can expect to see with it. I'm not going to go into detail with all of this, but you've got a legend on this side. Basically, you can really easily see all your cell voltages, your charge currents, and stuff like that. You've also got a table, which this just looks like a whole bunch of jibber jabber to me, but some of you may find that interesting. Really nice little graph viewer. This is what the micro USB on the back of the charger is for, and I may actually use this more often in the future. If I have batteries that I am questioning their reliability of, I can actually record while they're charging and take a nice good look at them. And with that, I'm ready to huck this thing back in the toolbox where it belongs, get charging some batteries, because I have been without a charger for probably about 3 months now, so that's why you guys have not been seeing running videos from me. Got my charger and my power supply all tucked back in their toolbox where they belong. As you can see, this is exactly why the flip-up screen is so valuable to me, because I can just stand right here where I'm at. I can visually see my voltage and my cell voltages really easily, and I don't have to go lean over and squint and try and figure out what those numbers are. So easy to see like that. And there you have it, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed my unboxing and review / fangirling over the iCharger 308 Duo that I just got. The original one that I had lasted about 3 years, and I would recommend it to anyone who's looking into getting a brand new LiPo charger. I will say it's definitely not beginner friendly. There's a lot to learn on this thing. It is definitely not an easy user interface to get used to, but once you do, it starts to make sense and it becomes really easy and really lightning quick to set stuff up, in my opinion. So yeah, hopefully you guys learned something new. I don't see a lot of these out there. I don't see a lot of people using these. They're more popular in the flight realm of RC, helicopters and airplanes, because these chargers kick some serious ass when it comes to multi-charging batteries. Some of their larger ones can charge up to 12S in a synchronous mode, which is insane. But then again, that's what some of those big ass helicopters do run. So anyway, you guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a big fat thumbs up. If this does happen to be the first video that you have seen by me, make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below if you will consider getting an iCharger one of these days. As always, follow me on Instagram at highway49_RC, support me on Patreon, join my Discord server, and if you want to help support the making of videos just like this one, consider becoming a member of the channel today. Yeah, actually that was pretty concise, so thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one.